Welcome to Reality Bites, and thank you to everyone at the Australian Hairdressing Council for inviting me here today. Today I'd like to talk about developing resilient apprentices. I'd like to share some tips about how we might do this. I'd also like to talk about why it's critical for our industry that we do this, and I'd like to talk about the importance of a holistic approach to the way that we develop, mentor and manage our apprentices. Now, I'm quite passionate about this because in our industry today, as many of you will be aware, just under 30% of apprentices actually complete their apprenticeship. Now, I probably don't need to talk about why this is a problem for our industry. I'm sure you're aware. But what I am going to suggest is that it indicates that there is something missing, that there's something missing in the way that we are developing, training, supporting and managing our apprentices. If you go online and you do a simple Google search or you have a look at Seek and you search what employers are looking for now, there are a few qualities that continually come up, that perennially present themselves. One of these is resilience. Some others that come up are things like adaptability, the ability to be able to change during a workday when things don't go your way or when you need to learn a new skill, when your circumstances or structure of your organisation changes. Another one that comes up is self-management frequently, the ability to manage not only one's emotions but also one's time and one's workload. I would suggest that these both actually sit under resilience because people who are resilient tend to be highly adaptable and tend to be able to manage themselves very effectively. Resilience, if we look at resilience as being the quality of being able to persevere, to be able to keep going at something, even when it's difficult, when it's challenging, even when we fail, to be able to pick ourselves up and start again, then this is a necessary skill for our apprentices because hairdressing and barbering are craft skills. If we think of the master craftsperson, we think of somebody who has honed their skills over a number of years, continually practicing and refining these skills until they reach that master craftsperson status. Now, our apprentices are starting out in this industry and they're trying to develop these skills. Often they're finding them very, very challenging. And often they're trying to perform these skills and learn these skills while somebody's there watching them. It may be you, it may be their supervisor, the salon owner. Quite often there's somebody in the chair. It may be a model, it may be a client, it may be somebody they know. But when they're finding these skills challenging, the stakes are very high because people are watching them. If we want our apprentices to complete, if they want to complete, then we need to support them by developing this quality of resilience. So I want to share with you some ways that we might be able to do that. And the first one I'm going to talk about is self-care and the importance of teaching to our apprentices about self-care. Why do I say self-care? Quite simply because it's very difficult to demonstrate your inner resilience if you're tired, if you're cranky, if you're hungry, if you're hungover. And yet what we're continually finding is that apprentices don't have this awareness. This is something that we might think is fairly basic or fairly fundamental, but we're finding that apprentices are not aware of such things as the relationship between adequate sleep and productivity. That most people need between 6 to 8 hours of sleep if they're going to turn up to work the next day and be fully present and fully engaged and ready to give everything they've got and learn new skills for the next 8 to 10 to 12 hours. Understanding the importance of physical exercise and the benefits that that has for well-being. Now, that's well documented. We know that exercise improves us physically, but now we also know that it has important cognitive functions as well. It helps things like memory, it helps attention, it helps executive function. Understanding the role of general good nutrition and hydration in general well-being. These are all things that we can support our apprentices with, that we can help to teach them. Some ideas around how we could do that. How would a group yoga class support your team? How would a basic gym membership, maybe as an incentive or as a thank you? What about something like even when you're ensuring that your apprentices in particular take a lunch break, and not only take a lunch break, because I'm sure they're doing that, but that they actually leave the salon maybe, and go for a walk, get some fresh air, get out into a new environment. These are skills that are going to help our apprentices develop the longevity that they need to stay in this industry. My second point is related, my second tip is related to this, and that is to develop and practice good work habits, good physical work habits. Our industry is very physically demanding. We stand for long hours, we bend, we stretch, we perform repetitive tasks over and over. And there's many people, not a small portion of people, who leave our industry simply because they find it too physically taxing on their body. The toll is too great. What if we changed that a little bit and we taught apprentices about the importance of using their abdominal muscles for strength? What if we ensured that they always took the time and knew exactly how to adjust a client chair to the right level so that they're not bending or stooping while they're performing a service? These are some of the things that we can do around just body awareness and good ergonomic practice that can help our apprentices still feel energized at the end of the day. Simple things like stretching at work in between clients can make an enormous difference on how somebody feels when they finish up for the day. Whether they feel like, yes, they've worked hard, but they can come back physically energized and ready to do it again, or whether they feel completely exhausted and think, I can't do this anymore. My third point is really around communication. Communication is slightly different to our other 2 points we've talked about, but I think it's critical because our industry relies on a very high degree of sophisticated face-to-face communication at a time when our technology and our apprentices' experience is dominated by asynchronous social communication. What this means is that skills that were fairly rudimentary, certainly when I was completing my apprenticeship and maybe when you were, such as answering the telephone, are actually incredibly daunting to our new apprentice who has only ever used their phone to message, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Snapchat. So what I'm suggesting here is just not underestimate or not overestimate or overassume capabilities and knowledge that may not be there. Something like answering the phone may be incredibly daunting to your apprentice, and you may need to take some time out to really support them in how they do that, because it's going to be really difficult for your apprentice or your new hire to see this as a long-term viable career option for them if they're having a small panic attack every time the phone rings. If you're a trainer, if you're a training provider, think about how you can incorporate these communication skills and support your learners in this area, because it really is one of the areas that can make or break a new apprentice. My next area that I want to talk about is around teamwork and collaboration. Now, this one, we know that hairdressing is a team sport. It's impossible to do it really well without the help of others and on your own. We also know that learners respond really well to collaboration and working together. So this one's quite an easy one. What we're suggesting here is that if you provide opportunities for apprentices to collaborate and work with other people, this could have a really long-term benefit in how they feel in their career and how they feel in their job. There's quite a bit of research to suggest that this is actually a critical factor in apprenticeship completion, is an apprentice having somebody who is within their industry but not their direct report, not their employer, not their salon owner, but somebody in their industry whom they can build a relationship of trust, who they can talk to, has a direct impact and measurable impact on apprenticeship completion. So something really simple like setting up a salon mentor or a salon buddy can be really effective for your new apprentice who's trying to find their way. My final point, and I'm quickly running out of time, so I'm going to go through this quite quickly, is to teach the value of time out. Now, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that to be really good at something, we have to sacrifice everything else. But I'm constantly amazed by the people that I meet in this industry who have a side passion. They might be competitive ballroom dancers, they might be a scuba diver, they might paint or they might draw. And what this does is this feeds their creativity. It gives them a new perspective on the world. It allows them to come back to the workplace, back to your workplace and your clients, being fully energized and ready to give again. So what I'm suggesting is if your apprentice has a side passion, encourage it, nurture it, I'm not suggesting that they need every weekend off or every Saturday off to pursue this, but I am suggesting that by nurturing it, they might start to see that hairdressing is actually a career where they can develop, where they can grow, where they can be the best person that they can be. If they see that hairdressing can offer that, if they see that as a viable career, then we might have the opportunity to turn around one or two of those apprentices who may have otherwise thought, this is not for me, I can't do this. And if we can do that, then it's really worthwhile doing. If you're interested in what we do and how we work with schools and educators to teach qualities like resilience along with technical skills, then please visit our website. Please feel free to message or email me or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'd like to say thank you for your time. Thank you again to the Australian Hairdressing Council, and have a wonderful day.